All right, so I know you guys just watched the squats for today, but I actually haven't done them yet. I'm gonna jump into a little pull-up workout tonight. I figured I'd just leave the camera rolling the whole way through, and then warm up for the squats in between sets. Because had a little lower back flare up today at work, and it's been pretty bad a few different times. We were working in this house today, and we had to keep going in and out of it, in and out, in and out. Probably like 8 or 9 times, and I was sitting there fighting with my boot. Because at after a certain point, I was like, I'm just gonna leave it tied and kick my shoes on and off. And so I was sitting there bent over, trying to pull it on, and I was pulling up as hard as I could, and I was pushing down as hard as I could. And I stood up from it, and I was like, oh man, I messed up. And just goes to show me I'm a little more fragile than what I should be. So I really need to put a lot of time into, building strength and inside of like end ranges of motion. Because dude, it'd be pretty sucky if every time you got to an end range and tried to exert any force and you got injured. Wouldn't be very fun, would it? Gosh dang it. And I just noticed that my dog ate my strings out of my shoes. That's why this thing's been flopping around all day. I think that's 15 there. So I've been doing like a little bit of hip flexor stretches today and stuff, just to take some pressure off the lower back. And to be honest, the thing that helps it the most today has been getting up and moving around. Like I remember getting back in the truck to go to the next job, and the whole time we're sitting there driving, I'm like, oh man, dude, my back, my back hurts. And then got to another job. I remember, having to get up and like move a bunch of stuff around. And by the end of that, I was like, my back feels pretty good right now. And, get back in the truck and sit down for 15, 20 minutes, stiffens up again. And then I got home today, I was laying on the floor, still kind of hurting. And then I got up and raked up a bunch of sticks in the yard. And within 5 minutes of working that rake, lower back felt perfect again. Which, given that I don't strain it and, hurt it anymore, it'll be better, if not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow. Like you can kind of gauge like how long I'm going to be sore from something, and this is shouldn't be too bad, knock on wood. But I really don't think it'll be more than a couple days worth. but that was one reason I opted for the pull-ups today, is because you know, can get quite a bit of decompression with the pull-ups, because I kind of wanted to squat heavier today. Wanted to either squat heavier or go for a run, and then both of those kind of got thrown out of the window. So I'll probably have to run tomorrow and postpone the heavy squats until, what is today? Today's Monday. I'll probably postpone the heavy squats until probably Wednesday or Thursday of this week. And already, lower back's feeling a lot better than when I first came out here. So if you're new to the channel, well, you know, a lot of people are going to tell me I'm injured because of squatting every day, but I'd like to speak against that a little bit. One of the reasons I started squat every day is because I got injured with a lower back injury. It was after, you know, a few months after I graduated high school. So senior year, I got to go into the weight room with one of my teachers and, you know, one of my best friends, and so every morning, you know, just went dumb in the weight room every morning, jacked up a bunch of stupid weights and stuff. And then we graduated, and I didn't get to go into the weight room for like 2 months. And this school's weight room was a lot nicer than what's out here. And so I got in there. I was super excited to get back in there, and I was like, I'm gonna deadlift today. And I tried to tug on weight that I hadn't pulled in, you know, a few months. And I remember it was 365 pounds. My best deadlift is a 400, and I went in there and pulled 365, which was sort of my training max at the time anyways. And got like halfway through the rep and shooting, I mean, just like that. I went ahead and finished the rep and then set it down, and I was like, that's gonna be pretty bad. And you know, for like a week after that, I could hardly get out of bed. I mean, excruciating pain. It took me 15 minutes to put a pair of socks and shoes on because my lower back was hurting so bad. We'll do another set real quick. And so I've done enough reading and whatnot, came to the conclusion that I probably popped a disc in my lower back then. And you know, it's not like my form, well, I did let my form slip a little bit. That was the only time I've ever let it slip on a deadlift, and I paid pretty dearly for that. And anyways, I was down for another like 2 months. So I went through that first week, and it was just an agony. I mean, couldn't hardly get out of bed, you know, laying in bed hurt, getting up and walking hurt, stretching hurt, laying in the floor hurt, like I couldn't do anything. And then it finally got a little better. And I remember being in some pain for a while, and then I got to where I was like capable of getting up and moving again, and ended up going to help a farmer load a bunch of pumpkins, like pick pumpkins, load them up into the bed of his truck, take them back to his house, unload them, clean them off, load them back up into the truck, and then take them up to the barn and unload them again on these pallets. And I remember, you know, when I first showed up, told the guy, I said, dude, you know, I messed up my back. I don't know, you know, how much help I can be, but, you know, I'll do what I can. And I remember the second or third day there, my back was like the best it's ever felt. From doing literally hundreds and hundreds of reps of leaning down, cutting the pumpkin, picking it back up, packing it to the truck, loading it, and then once you get back to the house, pick it up, you know, walk it over to the garden hose, set it down, spray it off, and then back to the truck again. So I did hundreds of like 10-pound deadlifts. My back felt amazing after that. And I also remember I was starting to get pretty like inconsistent with my training. You know, I'd work out like 2 days out of the week, and then I'd somehow find an excuse for the next, you know, 5 days. And so I'd been watching Von Durek for, you know, probably like almost up a year to this point, and I was like, shoot, man, I need something concrete to commit to. Like this, you know, I'll work out when I feel like it is, you know, not working out for me anymore. You know, there I was training at least 6 days a week to now I'm lucky to get 2 days in. I was like, I gotta do better about something, and the way I am, I've really got to go all into something. And so thought about it for a little bit. I was like, I'm going to start squatting every day. One, I need the commitment aspect of it. You know, I need something to, you know, sort of measure my actions by. I need something I can dedicate myself to training wise and stick to it. And then also, you know, moving around and the repeated, you know, deadlifting and movement and blood flow through the lower back had made me feel a lot better from, you know, helping that farmer out. So I was like, plus, you know, getting out here and squatting every day is going to put a lot of blood and stuff into my lower back. So, you know, let's start with that. And I remember there's a lot of days, you know, my back still hurt so bad I could, you know, barely squat the bar. I don't remember if I had helped the farmer first and then started squat every day, or if I started squat every day and then started helping the farmer. I don't remember exactly how all that lined up, but I remember that I connected the two dots. I was like, lots of lightweight deadlifts and moving around help the lower back, and I need something to commit to in training, and that provides also a lot of stimulus for the lower back and the, you know, leg muscles and all that. So that is why I had started squat every day. And then, you know, I was putting PRs on my squat probably within like 6 months of starting squat every day, if even that long. And I've had a few lower back flare-ups within this journey of squatting every day. More on that in a second. But when you're not dedicated to the training every single day, you know, I could come in here today, today's Monday, I could come in here, try to squat and be like, oh, you know, my back don't feel good, so I'm going to take a few days off of training. And then before you know it, it's Friday or Saturday before I'm coming back in here. Well, when the lower back pain was very frequent reoccurring issue. I was like, well, I couldn't train today because my back hurt. Then I'd come in tomorrow. I'd come in tomorrow, guess what? The back would hurt again. And then so after a point, it was like, I've got to find something that makes my lower back feel better so that I can train. And so, that's what I've done. These here, this mimics the deadlifting of pumpkins. And, I found out that the ATG split squats, real good stretch for the hip flexors. Those help my lower back out a lot. The goblet squats with a 10-pound plate, those help out a lot. And that's actually how I had to start picking up the pumpkins when I first showed up, because I couldn't bend over forwards. So I had to squat over the pumpkin with a straight back and pick it up. And that's how in bad a pain I was. And like I said, literally 2 days of that and I was ready to roll again. So I found that helps. The ATG split squats help. General movement helps. And I'm not going to say that, this pain I've got right now doesn't feel like disc pain. It sort of does, but it's bleeding over into my QL a lot. Whenever I had the first major injury, it was probably like right in here, maybe a little lower, and like right on the edge of my spine. It felt like somebody's dumping battery acid down it. And that's like a certain like flavor of pain that I'll never forget it. Because you got like the dual aching pains, and then if you poke something sharp, it's a real sharp pain, and then I don't know, like there's like different like sensations of pain, and that one, the disc pain, was very, very specific. And throughout the day I kind of felt that like once or twice, but it's bleeding like really far over into my QL. It's getting hot out here. So there's also, probably just a pretty good chance that I had strained my QL today. So I was in an awkward position and putting out everything I had. Kind of ridiculous. I throw out my back, putting on my shoe. Like I said, I was sitting there, sitting here fighting with it like this, and I pulled as hard as I could, and I pushed that leg down as hard as I could, and then it was right in here. Like, yep, that's gonna be sore for a little bit. I'm gonna jump into the squats now, which you guys have already seen. So appreciate you guys watching if you made it this far, and I'll catch you tomorrow.